The sky over Iran just changed, and with it, the entire narrative of modern warfare. For decades, the F 35 stealth fighter has been sold as untouchable, invisible, unstoppable. A fifth generation aircraft designed to slip through the most heavily defended airspace on Earth without ever being seen, let alone hit. It represents the pinnacle of American military engineering, a symbol of air dominance that few nations could even dream of challenging. And yet, something just happened that's sending shockwaves through military circles across the globe. Reports are emerging that an American F 35 operating over Iranian territory was struck by Iranian air defenses, forcing it to make an emergency landing at a base in the region. The pilot survived, the aircraft was recovered, but the implications are massive. This is footage. Iran struck an F 35. It was actually caught on surveillance. Wow, unbelievable. This was not supposed to happen because stealth was not supposed to fail. To understand why this moment matters, you have to understand what the F 35 actually is. Built for modern high-threat environments, the aircraft relies on a combination of radar-evading design, advanced electronic warfare systems, and real-time data fusion to dominate the battlefield. It doesn't just avoid detection. It sees everything first, shoots first, and disappears before the enemy even knows what happened. That is the theory. But war has a way of exposing the difference between theory and reality. And Iran, for years, has been preparing for exactly this kind of confrontation. Despite repeated claims that Iran's air defense systems had been degraded or neutralized, the country has quietly invested in layered, adapted defenses. Not just traditional radar-based systems, but infrared tracking, mobile missile batteries, and decentralized launch platforms designed to survive initial strikes and retaliate unpredictably. In other words, Iran did not try to outmatch the F-35 directly. It tried to outsmart it. And now, for the first time in this conflict, it may have worked. This is, of course, we know Iran impacted an F-35, as we've been talking about here in this video. Just another article here kind of highlighting the importance of the gravity of that, kind of how that changes things. According to initial reports, the aircraft was conducting a combat mission over Iranian territory when it encountered surface-to-air fire. What exactly hit it and how remains under investigation. But officials have acknowledged that the jet was forced to divert and land, suggesting that whatever happened was serious enough to compromise the mission. Iran, of course, is claiming victory. State media and military officials have gone even further, framing the incident as proof that American air superiority is collapsing. One Iranian statement described the F-35 as a monument to arrogance, suggesting that this moment represents not just a tactical success, but a symbolic turning point. That kind of rhetoric is not new. But this time it is landing differently, because there is enough truth in the incident to make the world pay attention. And that is where things get dangerous, because in modern warfare, perception can be just as powerful as reality. If adversaries begin to believe that stealth aircraft are vulnerable, truly vulnerable, it changes how they fight. It emboldens defenses. It encourages risk-taking. It shifts the balance of psychological power in ways that no single missile ever could. F-35, after it was struck, had to make an emergency landing. The plane was recovered, pilot survived, so obviously this plane wasn't like totally destroyed, if it was able to still land, but still quite the big news there that it was struck at all. And right now, that shift may already be underway. What makes this even more significant is the timing. This incident comes amid a rapidly escalating conflict that has already seen massive strikes, regional instability, and global economic fallout. Oil prices are surging, shipping lanes are threatened, entire regions are on edge. The assumption until now was that the United States and allied air power would dominate the skies without serious resistance. But if that assumption cracks even slightly, everything else starts to wobble. Because air superiority is not just a tactical advantage. It is the foundation of modern military strategy. And yes, this does not mean the F-35 is suddenly obsolete. Far from it. Even in this incident, the aircraft survived. The pilot survived. The mission, while disrupted, did not end in catastrophe. That matters a lot. What we may be seeing is not the failure of stealth, but the evolution of the battlefield. Because no technology stays dominant forever. Every advantage invites a counter, Every system has a weakness, and every edge eventually dulls under pressure. There's also another possibility, one that analysts are already debating behind closed doors.
Breaking news in the war in Iran. Sources telling ABC News tonight a U.S. F-35 stealth fighter on a breaking news in the war in Iran.
Now,
Sources telling ABC News tonight a U.S. F-35 stealth fighter on a combat mission over Iran was hit possibly
was never
by
supposed to be
fire.
touched. That's kind of what makes
fighter
this
making an emergency landing
so
at a U.S.
shocking.
base. The pilot tonight reportedly
So,
in stable
yeah, it
condition.
survived. Yes, it
and tonight,
landed,
questions
but
about how the stealth fighter, nearly invisible to radar,
yeah, that
could have
fact
been
right
hit.
there, the fact that it's
It comes
supposed to
amid
be
growing
invisible to
Iranian
radar,
attacks targeting
that's
oil
what
and
makes the
gas
strike
fields
at all
in Israel, Saudi Arabia,
so
Kuwait,
shocking.
and Qatar. The facilities going up in smoke and flames. Iran retaliating after Israel targeted the largest gas field in the world inside Iran.
That's not going to help
President
oil
Trump
prices.
tonight claiming he did not know about Israel's plan to strike the world's largest gas field.
A little bit of tension
tonight,
there between
US
President Trump and Prime Minister
and what we know
Netanyahu.
so far. ABC's chief international
Could be
correspondent
the
James
first
Long
rift.
leading us off from the region again tonight.
Because even the most advanced systems in the world can be brought down by chance. A moment of exposure, a brief alignment, a missile fired at exactly the right time from exactly the right place. War is chaos, and chaos does not care how expensive your aircraft is. Still, the symbolism of this moment cannot be ignored. For years, the image of the F-35 flying unchallenged over hostile territory has been a cornerstone of Western military confidence. It represented not just technological superiority, but strategic inevitability, the idea that no matter the opponent, the outcome was already decided. Now, that image has a crack in it. Maybe a small one, but a crack nonetheless, and Iran knows exactly how to exploit that. By amplifying the incident. By releasing footage, verified or not. By pushing the narrative that the invisible jet is no longer invisible. Because in information warfare, you do not need total victory. You just need doubt. Meanwhile, the United States faces a different challenge. Not just repairing whatever damage was done to the aircraft, but reinforcing confidence. Among allies, among pilots, among the public. Because dominance is not just about capability. It's about belief. And belief, once shaken, is hard to fully restore. So where does this go from here? That depends on what the investigation reveals. If the hit was confirmed and Iran's methods are understood, it could trigger a rapid shift in tactics, new countermeasures, adjusted flight profiles, increased suppression of enemy air defenses before missions even begin. But if the details remain unclear, or worse, if similar incidents happen again, then this moment could mark the beginning of a much larger shift. One where stealth is no longer enough. One where the skies are contested again.